Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm here with Avi Lipkin. I could sit and talk to you for hours and hours and hours and hours, and just I'm having fun. Okay,
I am too.
All right, Avi, talk to me. Where are we at now?
Okay, now as you know, this Arab Spring, so-called Arab Spring, has
Which I think Obama orchestrated by it.
it's not only Obama. Actually, George W. Bush
Started it?
Okay. With the idea of social networks, Facebook, Twitter, other things, Internet. And what has happened is all of a sudden the Arab world has realized, the good guys and the bad guys in the Arab world, and there are good guys in the Arab world, but primarily the bad guys, realize that they can use Internet and all these modern techniques in order to conquer the world. But what happens is the satanic Islamic system is inherently self-destructive.
Okay.
And Muslims kill Muslims.
Yeah.
You know, before they kill the Jew, the Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, and blacks, they kill each other. You know, they've killed millions of blacks in Africa.
Yeah, I know that. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Right.
The Western world doesn't care. I mean, I personally care. You care.
Yes.
But the world itself.
And now there's a Holocaust in which Christianity is being destroyed in the Middle East.
It's a genocide.
Genocide.
And get this. I talk about it all the time. You got Walid Shubat out there. You know, he's been up every day.
I do too. Are really close. Yeah.
Good. He's a great man.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We have Christian pastors in America who tell their congregations that's not really your brothers and sisters.
Right.
If they was, they wouldn't be getting killed.
Right.
And they do this simply out of their own, not wanting to talk about negative things. They want to keep the people happy, the fluffy, puffy crowd. So and the media, you can forget it. They ignore it. It's a sad
Because
case.
media is controlled by advertising. Advertising is controlled by money. The money is controlled by the banks, corporations, and oil companies that work with Islam.
So there you go. It's New World Order work.
Anyway, so what I wanted to say is that as a result of the self-destruction of the Arab Islamic worlds, you have millions and millions of Muslims fleeing, many times in rickety boats across the Mediterranean, flooding Europe, but also there has been a program, including illegal jet charter flights into the U.S. of Muslims from Somalia and other countries, all bribery of U.S. officials, planes coming in.
Buses coming in.
Buses, yes, planes, illegal entry into the country. So America in 1970 was 100,000 Muslims. Today, I say there are about 30 million Muslims in the U.S. And I break it down. I explain how but we don't have time for that.
Right,
now.
right.
But the point is, you've got 6 million Jews.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews in America are so loved by the Christians that they intermarry.
Yes, they do.
So you have 80% intermarriage, which means for 6 million Jews, you're going to have about maybe 3-4 million Christian spouses and children. Okay?
Yes.
We're talking, I would say, generically about 10 million potential immigrants to Israel.
Yep.
Now, the Muslim motto from the Hadith is a form of Islamic teaching. Kill the Jews on Saturday, because the Jews are the Saturday people. Kill the Christians on Sunday, because the Christians are Sunday people.
Okay.
But together, the Jews and the Christians are not two people, we're one people.
That's right.
People of the book.
Thank you.
So what's going to happen is, and I know this from, and it's in this book also, The Bible Block Party, from Edmonton, Canada, the Muslims have a plan to catalog every Jew and Christian spouses and pastors and Messianic groups. Anyone who loves Israel will be targeted for destruction when the orders are given for jihad, which is at any time.
That puts me on the list pretty high.
Absolutely.
That's
so
fine.
What's going to happen, I believe, that any Jew or Christian, or Christians married to Jews or Messianics or pastors, who don't want to be killed will have to flee to Israel.
Wow. Will Israel open up its borders to take, because they're a little strict right now on that.
They're very strict. They're very strict. One of the purposes of my party will be to make it much more user-friendly to the immigration of Jews and Christians. At the same time, so in other words, the population will grow from 6 million to 16 million or more, Jews and Christians. The Christian population, Christians will still remain the minority, but the Christians will grow from 500,000 to about 2 or 3 million in the Holy Land.
So you have formed a party.
I haven't formed. I'm in the process now of completing.
You're almost done.
Almost done.
You are, and folks, you have to understand. He's almost done. He is forming the first Judeo-Christian
political party in 2,000 years.
In 2,000 years, and it was
in Jerusalem.
And you're running for the Knesset.
Yes.
And if you can get a seat, then it'll be the first one in history of sitting there.
Right.
And you're saying
it's because of the 10 million immigrants who are going to be coming that I believe my party will be the biggest party in the
Yeah,
Knesset.
so you have a vision.
I'll let Netanyahu join my government.
And it's more than is. You won't have all that shouting and fighting going on, right? But you know what's happened is you have a vision that's not only politically a strategy, but it is spiritually a strategy of the Bible already.
Right.
And that is to bring the Jews and Christians as one.
Right. And then when the borders explode, because what's going to happen is all these countries are self-destructive: Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. Israel's borders are going to expand to the borders of Deuteronomy 11, including Northwest Saudi, which is what we spoke about in the previous programs. And it's one of the reasons why I believe that the immigration rules will be more lax. Because we're going to need the population.
You'll need it. Okay. Now, can I ask you, though, quickly, Zechariah 12, when Zechariah says that Jerusalem will become a cup of trembling and a burdensome stone for all people.
That's where
are we there right now?
We are there right now. And anyone who tries to touch Israel is going to get destroyed. And I recommend to all of your viewers and listeners to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 20. 2 Chronicles chapter 20 talks about 3 armies marching on Jerusalem, and there was no way that Israel could defeat them. And King Jehoshaphat says to the children of Israel, go to the temple, prostrate, pray to God, and you'll get your answer from God. The next morning they opened the gates of the city, and the 3 armies died of the plague, and they killed each other.
They got diseases that killed each other.
It's like the Sunnis and the Shiites.
Yeah.
And so the bottom line is, the Muslims are now going to the west.
Yeah.
The Jews are coming home from the west with their Christian spouses. Now, Hosea 11, verse 10 says, my children Ephraim, are going to come home trembling from the west. Okay. As the Lord wars our
Is that us?
That's you.
Wow.
Well, Ephraim can be...
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
Okay.
But they're coming from the west, and that would probably say America.
Okay.
With the interracial.
So what's the bottom line? Now, Jews and Christians are praying for the coming or the return of the Messiah to where? To Mount of Olives. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I always do this in churches. Is the Messiah coming only for the Jehovah's Witnesses?
What? What?
Or the Southern Baptists?
No. Or the Pentecostals, or the Methodists. No.
Or the Jews?
No, right.
Messiah is coming for everyone whose knee will bend and whose tongue will swear loyalty to the King of Kings.
That's right.
To the Messiah.
Amen.
So I believe what's happening now, we're putting in place a mechanism, or God's putting in place a mechanism, by which the Muslims go to, like a spatula, scrape up the Jews and Christians, kill them if they don't come to Israel. They're going to come to Israel, our borders will expand, and Messiah shows, and the temple will be rebuilt. Wow. All of this is in the coming years.
Wow. And is it possible? You got the old lady in the back church now.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen in my lifetime?
You know what? It could. Yeah. It could, because, as we're talking now and watching the news, Jordan and Saudi Arabia are the last 2 countries which have not fallen to ISIS in this specific area.
Right.
Libya has fallen to ISIS.
Right.
I mean, you have all this anarchy, chaos,
Yeah.
Jordan and Saudi until now have kept the lid on things. I think
Turkey. What about Turkey?
Turkey's going to fall apart because Turkey is 31% Shiite.
Okay.
The Turks are fighting the Shiites. The Turks have a problem.
Yeah, they do.
And 25% Kurdish.
Wow.
So they're
44%.
Yes, it's like Iran, where the Persians are only 50%, the Turks are only 40%.
Walid Shubat keeps a close eye on Turkey, and Prime Minister Erdogan.
Erdogan, he's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. But could he be the Antichrist? I mean, I'm not saying he is.
No. Antichrist has to be somebody very beloved by most of the world. Somebody,
a peacemaker.
A peacemaker. I don't want to say somebody like the Pope, for example, because the Catholics love him.
Right.
Most do. But you can have some world leader, not Obama. Obama's not the Antichrist.
No.
He's salesman of the month, but he's not the Antichrist.
He's the salesman of the month. but he's in the photo. I mean, I see what you're saying. His policies have been terrible.
Right. So I'm looking at some leader who eventually, at the end of the day, is going to say, I brought peace to the world. Now we're going to build a temple. We're going to have a one world religion. It'll be in Jerusalem or in Rome or whatever.
What about this Greek Cyprus, Alexis Cyprus? He's coming to
the new leader of Greece.
Of Greece, yes.
Well, he's got problems. He's got to pay off Greek debt.
He's an atheist. He's charismatic.
So he can't really be.
He may just renege on the entire.
It would have to be somebody who is deeply faithful in his own way, probably loyal to the Pope, because the Vatican, Europe, and what I call the one world government, which includes America, all tied in together.
Yeah.
And the people who are in danger are the, how should I say, the free-spirited Jews and Christians who don't succumb to that stuff.
Me and you. Okay. Well, everybody watching out there.
Right.
All right. Let's get people to your website. They need to. You've got 7 books, or you're on your 7th.
My 7th book's being printed right now.
And how many DVDs you have?
I have about 10 DVDs.
With Chuck Missler?
Mostly primarily done by Chuck Missler's ministry, yes.
Yeah, I mean, so where do we find
They're kosher for Christians.
Yeah. Where's your website? What's your website?
www.vicmord.com. Remember, my pen name is Victor Mordecai, so vicmord.com. And I also have an 800 number if people want to order the books, 1-800-540-0828, 1-800-540-0828. And you can find my mailing address and all that in the States and in Israel in the website, vicmord.com.
I'm going to put the link to his website on all of these 4 videos we've just done. Folks, you have to admit, this is probably some of the most powerful information, entertaining, but certainly words of truth. And I think every Christian in the world needs to understand what you're doing. I mean, seriously.
And to understand that I love all Christians, I love all Jews, I love every human being, I love all the Muslims too.
I do too.
And when Islam is defeated, finally 1.5 billion Muslims will get a life.
Yeah.
Just like the Germans could not have a democratic and free life until Nazism was terminated.
Right. Avi, thank you so much, my brother.
Bless you
so much. Bless.
And come to Israel.
Yes. Shalom, shalom.